Hello and welcome back. First of all, thanks for clicking on us to have a look. And what are we doing today? Today we're going to be having a look at ST02, which is Star Toys' version of Tracks, and they've cleverly called it Tracker. That must have took some thinking to come up with a name like that. So what have we got? We've got the box, really standard. The back looks a little bit lazy, just looks like the renders. Side with a name, other side with a name, some bits on the bottom. Let's have a look at the accessories. So we get two different faces, one with a smile, one with a bit of a surprise look, and of course the Hoist Goes to Hollywood face mask. We get a blaster, which we'll get out in a second as here while he holds it, and some sort of stand thing. Okay, the blaster is done with just plain plastic. Let's get that into focus. No paint, grey, but very G1-esque looking. And then of course we get the figure. So, and let's get them up to the G1 picture. As you can see, they've pretty much copied it like for like. Very, very cartoon accurate. Let's give them a spin. Okay, and tabbed there. We won't be transforming today, but we will be comparing him to the Takara version. So first impressions, very, very accurate to the G1 image, if not down to a fault. Let's get a little bit closer and take a closer look. Face, glossy red paint. The angle a bit better with blue eyes. Those eyes could be done with a bit of darker blue, bit of metallic paint on the body, nice big yellow patch to put the Autobot logo, waist decal exactly like the G1 model, even down to the cutouts for the feet and the red line work, the painted red line work. Yeah. The only difference being the turret things, let's bring that down a bit, on his head not being on armatures like the G1 image. Yeah, so very accurate copy of the G1 image, but yes, it looks like the cartoon, but then again, you've got to think the cartoon is from the 80s, and if they had the more detailed capabilities back then, would they have added extra details to the inner wheels and the figure? It's, I don't want to say childlike, but it's very, very plain. Let's move on and have a look at his articulation. Alright, we'll start with the arms. Not very good, very good elbow joint. It's a joint at the back and the front. Shoulder, all the way around, obviously catching on his wings. The wings again, very G1, like a lot shorter than the Takara version. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Head, side to side, up and down. Waist swivel, and the nab crunch. Legs up that far, and right the way back, and sideways. Toe tilt, and a bit of a pivot. So yeah, articulation's pretty solid. Not bad at all, but only critique, not one ratchet. All friction joints, which makes it a little bit difficult to get him back into a pose. I should have done that on camera. The hip skirts are those ones that hide themselves. See how it disappears? And the problem with these are they don't always come back down as in here. Look, see, we've got that bit now with the hip skirt disappearing. So it's a bit of a, there we go, a bit of an effort to get it back in line. There we go, done it. Now the other one's disappeared. There we go. You hold it in place whilst you manipulate it back. Yeah, so how tight it will say, the more manipulated it is, I don't know. Wings, a hell of a lot smaller. They do have some movement in them. But again, you've got to hold the back bit down whilst you manipulate my arm in the way. So it moves the whole headpiece. Yeah, overall, not bad. So the figure itself stands at, I believe, I don't know, 18 centimetres? Yeah, just over 18 to the top of the missiles, which works out to be about 8 inches tall. I paid, how much should I pay? £60 for him, which works out to be about $80, which is not a massive amount. I think you're paying for what you get with this one, definitely. It's not as premium as your MNCs or your fan toys or even your X-Tran bots, but it does the job. Does it look better than the Takara version? Let's get him on the screen and have a look. Be right back with you. Okay, and we're back with the Takara version. And as you can see, they're both pretty good representations of tracks. Start with the obvious, the chest area on the Star Toys is a lot more accurate and probably a lot more to scale to the animation model. Also, the biggest change is the wings. As you can see, the wings on the Takara one are pretty huge compared to the Star Toys one, which have been cut down to match the G1 model a lot more. However, the Star Toys one still, I wouldn't say, is a perfect representation. It looks very plain in places. For example, like I mentioned earlier, the wheels, the detail on the Takara one with the inner parts looks a lot better. Yeah, it's not to the animation model, but still. Also, another benefit to the Takara is all the joints, well, the main joints, don't fall over, the arms and the knees are all ratcheted. And obviously we just said the Star Toys one isn't. However, the Star Toys one does feel a bit more substantial. I've never liked the way the Takara one's felt, and it's always come across as being a bit difficult to pose. I find the feet are a little bit too small, but you can get him into a good pose, and he does look good on the shelf. But however, like I said, the Star Toys one is not perfect. When it comes to recommending which one, I really can't say. It's down to your personal preference. I've not transformed the Star Toys one. Maybe I'll get around to doing that in some parts. I'm thinking of having the old car one into the car mode and displaying it that way, with the Star Toys one going on the shelf with the rest of the box, because it fits in more with the modern toon look of all the other figures. But that's not saying the Takara one looks really out of place. I don't think it doesn't. It still looks good. Okay, so that's a quick comparison. Let's get some of the figures out and see how he goes with the more modern figures. Be right back with you. Okay, so if I get the names wrong, then tell me. Here he is with DX9's, is it Stormbringer? Or as we know him, Sideswipe. Yeah, the Star Toys one is looking a bit more bulkier. Okay, you go over there. And let's bring in Takara's Corden. And finally, Bad Cube's, I don't remember the name of it, but Red Alert. Is he going to balance? He feels like he's going to go backwards. Another one where the feet are awful. I'm looking forward to Fans Toys version of Sideswipe and Red Alert when they get around to it. As long as I don't fall over. Look at that. That's just literally taken off the shelf to stand here to show. And it's trying to lean backwards. So there you go. I shouldn't have moved it. Hang on. And we're back before Red Alert decides to fall over. As you can see, as a group, it doesn't look too out of place. If anything, he looks a bit too big. Or maybe chunky, I don't know. What do you think? I'll see how he looks on the shelf and maybe I'll flip it back to the Takara. But anyway, I think that about wraps it up. So yeah, an improvement, maybe slightly. Is it worth replacing the original tracks? I don't know. Maybe if you're one of these collectors like me who likes to have a car mode and a bot mode, it's worth getting. But I dare say there'll be other attempts at tracks in the next couple of years. Maybe it's worth just hanging on and having a look. Anyway, let us know in the comments what you think. Thanks again for watching, I really do appreciate it. Hope you all have a great week. Speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye bye.